Hello, and thank you so much for being here today. I have a special guest. And when I heard that she tells her clients and the world that healthy women age backwards, I went, okay, Kristen is going to have to get on the show with us. So you're going to enjoy meeting her. She's from Canada. She has a beautiful accent. So listen in and thank you for being here today. Kristen,
Awesome.
thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you so much, Kelly, for having me.
Absolutely.
I love this. I love being able to share nuggets and just to really help inspire people to move forward in their life. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm going to read your bio because it's powerful and it's so succinct. So I don't normally read bios, ladies, but listen in because you're going to love Kristen. Kristen's a holistic nutritionist with almost 3 decades in the wellness industry. Her mission is to redefine the aging process while equipping us with the habits that will help you become the healthiest you've ever been, all through undiet and holistic lifestyle approach, which I love personally. She's also big on social media, podcasting. She's a producer of various health shows on Rogers TV. She's worked with corporations like Pepsi Cola, which I find astonishing, McDonald's and the Kellogg's, speaking and educating the staff on various health initiatives to improve employee wellness. So Kristen believes that when you take your health into your own hands, the rest of your life, you become a magnet for your success. So nice. So tell me this. I just like this. I love this idea of healthy women aging backwards. How does that work?
So, you know what? How it works first and foremost is we have to decide to take our health into our own hands. And if I can just kind of take us back a number of years. So just to, I don't know, 20, I'm 47 now. So let's go back to when I'm going to say 23-ish. And I was managing corporate wellness programs. I was running a Pilates studio, an on-the-go Pilates studio in the GTA, the Toronto area. And so I was busy, but I was 23, right? I was, I had energy. Well, until I didn't have energy. And I was experiencing symptoms like a lot of women and men experience. So I was fatigued. I was craving. I was bloated. I actually had acne and I had great skin until I hit the age of 20. It was like 20 hit and everything changed. And I was falling asleep at 6 o'clock when I didn't have classes, like just way too early. And I thought, there's something not right. So where did I go? I went to the doctor, and I went to the doctor expecting that, I would be, yeah, need I say more? I went to the doctor, and basically, long story short, what she told me was drink orange juice. And I thought, I didn't know. I have a lot of training in the natural health field now. If I knew
Right.
now what I knew then, I wouldn't have gone to the doctor. However, I didn't know at the time. And so when she told me that, I didn't know anything. However, what I did know in my gut was, no, that's not right. There's something wrong. So anyways, that's all I got from her. I left the office, and basically what I said was, I have to take my health into my own hands. And as soon as I made the decision, and this is the big point here, is we have to make a decision. When you make a decision and you're ready to look for solutions, the doors open up. It's amazing how that happens. And so I made that decision. And I will tell you that one of my Pilates clients, I had never really talked to her before. We met in the parking lot afterwards, just by chance, not by chance, but we met in the parking lot, and I just started sharing her what I was going through. And she started sharing what she had that hit my pain points. And
Right.
from that day on, I was like, I need that. And it happened to be, this is how I started learning more about supplementation and, filling the gaps in our nutrition because of the quality of our food and all of that. And that was started my journey back in my early 20s. And I will tell
Wow.
you that I raised my children. I have 3 children, 19, 17, and 13. They have been raised very different than the conventional way. And since then I've just trained and done lots of just different education so that I can better my family, but also those in the industry and the clients that I work with. And so really it started, Kelly, with a decision. And then from that's where I started learning more about how my body worked, about the food quality, about filling the gaps and not necessarily using supplementation, but how can we use whole food, micronutrition,
Right.
balancing our hormones, all of this. I could go on and on and on,
Right.
but that's really where it started. And so for those listening, I really encourage you to look at where your health is at now. Where is it you want to be? How is it that you want to feel? And then it's about making a decision that, you know what? I want to feel better than what I do now. I want to age backwards, which means that I'm going to feel better in my 50s and my 60s and my 70s than what I did in my 50s or 40s or 30s, because it
Right.
absolutely happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I can actually see that. And I mean, I realize this happened to you at a very young age, which is really tough. But you're right. Like making that decision that something can change is always the first step to change, isn't it? Like
Absolutely.
that's what happens. So
Absolutely.
now you do nutritional work mostly. Is that
Yeah,
true?
it is true.
How does that work when if I was to come to you and say, I'm ready to age backwards,
Yeah.
what should I be doing?
Yeah.
Decision made, line in the sand, what should I be doing?
Yes. So
What would you talk about?
So first, I would say, Kelly, congratulations on making the decision that your health matters, and you see that you need to really make whatever you're doing now is going to create results tomorrow and down the road. So we need
Right.
to change the results. So basically, the first, I'll start with, there's so many different pieces, but I'll start
Oh
with,
yeah.
looking at, as a nutritionist, obviously people know I work with food. I really look at how nutritional therapy can help create health and a healthier body. Because what a lot of people don't realize is whatever is happening within our internal environment, or we call our terrain, whatever's happening in our internal environment will actually make us healthier and disease resistant, or will actually create an environment within our body where disease thrives. So we want to
Hmm.
become disease resistant. So really what I do to start, we look at stress levels.
Okay.
What is your stress like? I mean, let's be honest, especially in the last 2 years, we know that there's been a heightened level of stress. But living in North America, especially, we're on the go. We're not, our world nowadays is not the way it was 20, 30, 40 years ago, or our
Right.
parents, grandparents, how they grew up. It's different now in so many different ways. So we need to look at stress levels. I do a lot of work around that, and how our stress impacts how healthy we are or not. We
Hmm.
look at the quality of food that we're eating, right? So
Right.
if we just kind of start with that, what how does your diet look? How much, this is what I talk about. If you follow me on social media and you're in my community, I talk about this a lot, is how much produce, how much natural clean food are we eating that comes from the ground, that comes from the earth, versus what we see in the packaged food in the stores that are it's convenient. And because we're busy, we tend to put our health on the back burner and go to those convenience food, or Uber Eats. In the last two
Right.
years, Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes and all those platforms that make it easy for you to just go on your phone and order, and they're at your door in 25 minutes, or it's
Right.
free. I
It's
mean,
like
right? It's
magic.
just yeah, it's just like magic. So what happens now is and then fridges. My kids were telling me that there is a fridge that's being made where you can just type in what you want and it will just deliver it to you. So what's happening in the process is we have this stress, and that stress is creating within us a desire for unhealthy foods, because when we're stressed, we do not crave a salad. We crave carbohydrates, we
Sure.
crave sugar, we crave the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are good, I will say. Ladies, listen up, that carbohydrates are not bad. We need carbohydrates, but we need the right carbohydrates.
Right.
So we are
Right.
not
It's
craving the
not the
right
pasta that
carbohydrates,
we're craving.
right? We're
Yeah.
craving exactly, exactly. So we have to remember that it's a vicious cycle, and it's about, if I can help you put more nutrient dense food within your body, and starting with where you're at, and not focused on we overhaul everything, then what's going to happen is your body's going to biochemically change, because food and whole food is going to change our internal environment, so we crave more of the good food, right? That's the
Okay.
that's the key, is we're craving more of the wrong foods because of that stress, and stresses in all the different forms. And most people listening might be saying, but you know what? I don't really want to eat salad. And this is why I actually teach families how they can grow their own food on, say, a tower garden, for example,
Right.
right? Where it's more nutrient dense, it's growing in their home, which is very easy, and you don't have to have a green thumb, and you don't have to go to the store, and you can save money. So anyways, so there's lots of that we can unpack. But I think the biggest thing is really evaluating where the person is at. What are they eating now? How
Mhm.
are they feeling now? What are their stress levels like? So then we can kind of take the next step and
Okay, so let
start.
me ask you real quick, what
Yeah,
would that next step be? Because we're looking at a decision. We've made a decision. Now we have to look at the
yeah,
stress that we're dealing with. Then I'm
yeah,
guessing the next step is getting the right food into our
yeah.
environment.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
start. I mean, it's never the same thing for every person. It really depends on
right.
what people are presenting, right? So I would say, let's just say, yeah, the next step is how can we add in more? We know that we need 7 to 13 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables, right? We know that. We all know I'm plant-based, and I know that I still sometimes don't even get the
Okay, wait, I
variety.
have to stop you
And
for just
right?
a second. Okay,
Yeah,
so 7 to 13
yeah,
servings a day.
yeah.
W- What does that look like? Does two, I'm just going to make something up. Does 2 cups of spinach, what is
Mhm.
that? Is that a serving? Is that 10 servings?
Yeah.
How do you decide what a serving is? Like, it's
Good
so
question.
nebulous.
Great question. So a serving, we can look at a serving if it's, we'll say, I mean, you can look at different, quote unquote textbooks, or different practitioners will tell you different things, but we could look at a serving as, say, a large handful. We'll just use that
Okay.
because I mean, you could say cup or half a cup. If a food is cooked, it's going to have less nutritional value, especially if it's microwave, there's none. Boiling, there's none. We want to lightly steam. So we can look at a large handful of spinach in a smoothie would be 1 serving, right? So if you're making a smoothie, I'm big on teaching smoothies because it's a very fast food, easy way to get as much nutrition and produce into that person. And it digests quickly because it's already broken down. So let's take the spinach. We put spinach into the blender. We take maybe a handful of frozen zucchini, right? You'll never taste it. Frozen zucchini, and just kind of
You'll
like,
never taste it.
yeah,
Sorry, it
that is
sounds
the
like we're
key.
talking to the kids. You will never
Yeah,
taste this in your food.
this is the key. Because who wants to taste? I mean, zucchini doesn't really taste anyways, but who wants to taste, like cauliflower? I will recommend cauliflower in a smoothie, frozen, because trust me, if you put steamed cauliflower that's not frozen in your smoothie, it doesn't taste good. So I'm
That
all about
sounds
how can we make
disgusting, actually.
it exactly. So this is why, take my advice, is you want it all frozen. So you steam it, and
Really?
Costco here in Canada, we have Costco, like Sam's Club. We can get
Right.
big bags of organic cauliflower, and so a big bag, and then there's little individual bags in there. And I will tell people to grab that. You can make your own, but if you're going for the easy route, just grab that. And you put, say, a half a cup of frozen zucchini, sorry, frozen cauliflower that's all riced up. Put that
Right.
in your smoothie. It's like ice. You do not taste it. And
Really?
cauliflower is so good for you. Yeah, yeah,
Really? Okay, I'm gonna
absolutely.
try it. I'm gonna try it. I may be
Yeah,
calling you and going,
you
"What
can.
did you get me
Absolutely,
to
you
do?"
can. Yes, please call. So yeah, so that would be, a half a cup, we'll say, is a serving. A half a cup of frozen zucchini is a serving. You might put sweet potato in there, frozen. Anything that's frozen is you're not going to taste it, but it's
Really?
going to amp up. Yeah, it's amazing how it works.
I
But
had no
I don't
idea,
want to,
actually.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to taste that stuff in my smoothie either. I mean, just because I'm a
Right.
nutritionist doesn't mean I'm not human. I get
Right.
it. Now,
Right.
here's the other thing is when we talk about amping up your servings. So that's kind of what servings would look like. A banana, that would be 1 serving.
Right.
An apple, that would be 1 serving, right? Berries you have to be careful of because they do need to be organic. Organic is not perfect, but we know that it's not, you're still going to have some pesticides on it. We know that the soil is better than
Right.
conventional, the way they treat the soil, all of that stuff. But we just need to make sure that there is, at least we're following the dirty dozen. And the dirty
Okay.
dozen are the top 12 foods that are highly sprayed. Okay, so
Okay.
like apples and strawberries and grapes and peaches and these sort of things. You can go on the ewg.org,
Okay.
ewg.org, and you can actually find the Dirty Dozen on that platform. And you can find
Can
out,
I
okay,
interrupt you for just a
yeah,
second?
please. Yeah,
This is something really like shocking that my neighbor told me the other day.
yeah.
They grow apples, and she said that she had been in I'm gonna make it up, Washington, wherever they grow apples outside
Mm.
of her yard. And she said that she saw a sign outside the apple orchard that said, do not, basically, I'm gonna paraphrase, do not approach, um, chemicals here, unhealthy, dangerous poison. Like it was, she said it was so
Yeah,
shocking that she never ate another apple until she grew her own, which I was actually blown away when I heard this.
yeah, it's absolutely true.
Wow.
Apples are one of the highly sprayed
Wow.
fruits, and the
Okay.
thin skin. So here's the thing though. So yes, you want to do chemical-free apples.
Right.
However, you have to remember that spraying, like organic farms, there's a whole protocol that they have to follow. Their farms
Right.
can't be a distance from the another, the conventional farms. However, the thing is that they they're still blowing. The pesticides are still blowing. So
Sure,
it doesn't mean
of
organic
course. It
perfect.
doesn't mean they're
However,
perfect.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it is the spraying. If it's spraying to protect the fruit from bugs that don't want to eat it, then what is it doing for us? Now, is it going to kill us immediately? No. But
Right.
over time, all of these toxins that we're breathing in, that we're eating, that we're drinking, eventually it creates a toxic load. It overburdens the liver, which then that weakens our immune system. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
So there's a lot of stuff going on here. Um, in fact, there's so much stuff going on here. I could keep you here for the rest of the day, and I know I can't do that. So, so let me
maybe do it
ask you.
again.
Um, okay, so I'm going to step back for a second because I started this by asking you about, quantities of vegetables. And in quantities of vegetables, we're definitely doing our best to eat organic. If we can grow our own, obviously it's better. And
Yeah.
for everybody listening, we're going to definitely link over to Kristen's website because she has some information about the tower that you can actually grow your vegetables at, which is super easy, right?
Mm,
So
very.
you could grow your own vegetables, which immediately everybody's like, going, no, I don't have time for that. But if you're using a tower, you can. You're getting a lot of vegetables in your diet. You're avoiding toxins as much as possible. Oh, okay. So we've got those. This is the start of aging backwards. I'm going to ask you a question. This is going to be a leading question because you have a gift for everybody listening today. Does that gift
Yes,
actually lead toward aging backwards also and helping people get out of this toxic load?
absolutely. So,
Absolutely. Okay. Could you
yes,
talk about that then? Because I think that's something that I know. I mean, actually, I've been plant-based for, I don't know, 40 something years. So
awesome.
I know that I have, when I talk to clients and I'll be like, yeah, you should eat some more vegetables. And I suggest, like, for starters, maybe 5 or 6 servings. The eyes get big, the, crossed fingers come up and they're like, I can't eat that many vegetables.
Yeah,
So we know that you've given us some great ideas on how to get those vegetables in. And I'm going to try this. I mean, 100%. When I do my smoothie today, I'm trying the cauliflower and I'm going with what you told me because I don't get, as plant-based, I still get 7 to 13 servings
yeah,
a day. I
yeah,
don't. Like, I
yeah,
mean, it's
yeah,
just not happening. So and then we're avoiding toxic load. Tell us about your information that you want to give today,
yeah,
because I think this is going to be something that, like, I need some more people that can kind of like get their teeth in and do something that's not
yeah,
terrifying, because I'm already
yeah.
terrified and I'm thinking 13 servings of vegetables. What am I going to do? Sorry.
So that's a yeah, that's a great that is a great comment question, because this is another reason why. So I'm going to talk about my 5-day hormone
Okay.
detox.
Yeah.
It's one of my most popular programs that I give people, with. And so, but I do want to say this one thing, because
Okay.
being plant-based like yourself, I love that, that we're both kind of on the same train here. And for those listening that are not fully plant-based, that is okay. If you choose to eat meat, I just say to people, eat clean meat. Make sure there's
Mhm.
no you know where the meat's coming from, hormones, steroids, antibiotics. You just want to, because what you're putting in your body, you become. But however, I'll say, I hate the word but, however, we do need to add in those vegetables. So the reason the reason why I also have partnered with a company for the past 13 years, I do want to say this because this is a reason why I've done this. I do believe in supplementation as a nutritionist. However, the right supplementation, I do believe that we can never out supplement a bad diet. Never. Just
Oh,
like,
good point.
right, we can never
Yeah.
out supplement a bad diet. The problem is nowadays our supplements are man-made, they're synthetic based, they're isolated vitamins and minerals. And the problem with that is our body does not recognize them as if it's coming from a whole food or a whole product.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I've partnered with a company called Juice Plus from the past, they've been around for 50 years. And I use this, and I started using this many, many, many years ago because my kids were small and they give free nutrition to kids. And I thought, as a parent, why would I not want to do that? And so
Right.
imagine getting 32 fruits, vegetables, and berries in your body every single day on top of the good nutrition that you're working on improving, right? When we talk about the vegetables
Interesting.
and the fruit.
Okay.
So this is not a supplement. It's actually Health Canada and the FDA have it under category as a whole food product, because it's
Okay.
actually not considered a supplement, because it's filling the gaps, yes, but that's what it's doing. It's filling the gaps. So this is what we are eating. This is what we should, quote, I don't like that word either, but should be
Right.
eating, getting all of what we're talking about we need to get. It's filling the gaps and feeding our cells the micronutrition and the phytonutrients and the antioxidants that we can only get through plants and not through the lab, which many people are taking
Right.
antioxidants, but they're coming from a lab, right? So
Right.
I feel like I need to share this, because when we're talking about healthy aging backwards, it's, are we filling the gaps with the right nutrients? And so, I
Interesting.
mean,
Okay, so
yeah,
hang on. What is Juice
yeah.
Plus? Is it a juice? Is it a powder? What is it?
So it is not a juice. I say to people
Okay.
when I talk about Juice Plus, of course you would think that it's juice. It's like juicing without the water and the sugar and the mess and all of that. Plus, okay, so it's like it's juice, but the plus. So it's, I know you can see, Kelly. I don't know if we are actually, if this is just audio, or if you can, if
So
people can
those of
see it.
you who actually tune into the YouTube channel, you can see us. Otherwise,
Okay.
everyone else is listening on the podcast.
Okay, so
Yeah.
those of you that can see us, and Kelly, you can see me right now. So right behind me here is basically what that is. So this is the trio, which is fruits,
Okay.
veg, and berries, and then the vegan omega that we have, which
Okay.
is so much less toxic than fish oil. That's
Right.
a whole other conversation. So what it basically is it is vine ripen. Vine ripen is key because the nutrients
Okay.
comes into the plant in the last 48 hours of ripening. Most produce that we are eating is not vine ripened. It's being picked
Oh,
green.
right. Yes,
Mhm.
I understand.
So guess
Yeah.
what? By the time broccoli gets to our plate, it's lost around 50 to 80% of its nutrition, its
Oh my goodness.
micronutrition. Because every time it's off, every 30 minutes it's off of the vine, it's losing nutrients, because the nutrients are coming from the soil and then coming into the plant. And then of course we have the sun, and how we all know the science around growing a plant. So the reason why the tower garden is so powerful is because it's growing with earth minerals, and you're picking it right off the vine. And if you have a black thumb like I do, it's for you. You don't have to have a green thumb. And if you're a person who's busy like I am, it's for you as well. And so I just go pick off my cauliflower, pick off my greens, pick off the tomatoes from the vine. It's vine ripened. Now, if we talk about filling the gaps with this micronutrition here, it is the sugar removed and it is the water removed. And now you've got the vine ripened nutrients that
Okay.
we're really trying to get from our food, but we can't get enough of it. So it's just filling the gaps. And it's someone who is going through the cancer process, who's going through some sort of a process, a healing process with whatever condition they have. Doctors love this because it's food. It's like,
Okay.
most people, you know what I mean? It's beautiful.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And we will definitely
yeah.
link to this in the show notes. So we'll link
Mhm.
to,
A lot of
and
things.
yeah, we're going to be linking. I mean, I'm going to obviously have to have you back because, like when I'm thinking about this, there's so much to talk about, and we haven't even started to talk about the hormone detoxing. So
Yes,
what
yes, yes.
we could do, I mean, and Brad, take this out while we're talking about this. If you're up for it, we could have you back and go over the hormone detoxing, because
Yeah.
otherwise, like,
Yeah.
Brad, I'm still taking this out. Okay. So we usually
Yes.
have about a 20-25 minute time before people start
Yes.
falling off on the podcast.
Yes.
Um,
Totally. Totally.
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back onto the podcast and talk about linking to everything that we just talked about,
Yep.
and getting your gift, and the fact that you have actually said that you're going to come back and talk about the hormone detox. Does that work for
Yeah.
you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
So you want
Brad,
to
we're
still
just
do that? You want to still give that hormone detox, or do you want me to give you I have an anti-aging starter kit. I could give
yeah.
you
You want to do
instead.
that?
It,
Yeah.
you were talking about the 5-day hormone detox. So I mean, we could, and then that then gets them to come back, or we could do the anti-aging. Basically what the anti-aging starter kit is it's basically meal plan, getting them adding in more plant food, shopping list, meal plan, that sort of thing.
Okay,
Where the
let's
hormone
do
detox.
that.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
do that, and then we're going to come back. Okay, give
Okay.
me 1 second to think about how we're going to do this,
Yeah.
because
Sure.
we've got to cut. Okay. Kristen, this is so much information. Like, I mean, I am blown away. And like I said, like, people on this podcast have heard me say it before, I am plant-based, and you're giving me information I don't even know about. So what if it was okay with you if we actually, I think you said that you had a gift that's the anti-aging
Mm,
gift product,
yes.
that if we
Yes.
went with that in the show notes this time, and then if you came back in a couple of weeks and we did the hormone detox, because I think both of them are so important, and I don't
Yes.
want to lose people because we're going long. What I want is everybody to come back and go, oh my gosh, I already feel better from doing the anti-aging
Mhm.
program that Kristen had. I'm ready for the hormone detox. What do you think about that?
I love it. I love it. And yeah, because we want to make sure that those of you listening have, you can kind of take tools that we've talked about. I mean, we talked about so much, but just even right now, I would say with the anti-aging starter kit, that's going to help get you going. If you're like, well, I don't really know what to eat, what about the shopping list? All of that is in this starter kit. So you can either
Perfect.
follow it to a T, you can actually use it as a form of a detox, because one of the things Kelly will talk about next time with the 5-day hormone detox is it's really in line with what we've been talking about, but it's going to really help. We can get into detox and how that is important for healthy aging. But this is going to start you on that journey and get you eating more plants and better meals, whether you use it as it is or just take pieces of it. You decide, but it's going to help you either way. So I love that
I
idea.
love that. I love that, because one of the things that I'm always saying is start small, take small steps.
Yes.
And because if we like grab in and, if we dove into 13 vegetables today, probably tomorrow we wouldn't need another one.
Exactly.
It's like, start small. Let's take little bites. I love this. So for those of you who have been listening closely, we will be linking in the podcast notes to not just the anti-aging starter kit, but we'll also be linking to the tower that that grows your vegetables inside in a healthy, organic way, and the Juice Plus and everything else that Kristen offers, because Nutrition is such a huge, huge, huge piece. And so
Yeah.
often we think of food as something to keep us from being hungry instead of something that takes us
Yes.
from today to infinity.
Yes.
So thank you
Yes.
so much for being here
Yes.
today. I really
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And is there anything you'd like to say before we sign off until our
Yes.
next interview?
Yes. So I just want, if those of you are those of you listening, just listen. Those of you that are watching, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to really hear what I'm going to say. This is not my quote, but this is what I usually end with because I think it's so powerful. When you have your health, you have 1,000 dreams. When you don't, you only have one. So,
Oh,
yeah. So I find that very powerful. When you have your health, you have 1,000 dreams, but when you don't, your only dream is to be healthy. So an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. So that's what we're here to do, is help you to prevent anything, but get your body in a place where it is bulletproof, it's strong, you feel amazing, and you age better than you ever thought you could or ever what you were told you could.
awesome. And I have to tell you, that gave me chill bumps. Thank you
Mm.
so much. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for contributing so much to the world.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. And also for what you're doing. Thank you for having me.